Life Audio.
Let's ditch the bad habits and commit to small, sustainable changes that actually work for us.
Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Zinnia offers research-backed videos intentionally created for people with dementia, engaging, calming, and easy to follow. Whether you need to ease agitation, create moments of joy, or make daily routines smoother, Zinnia is here to help. Family and professional caregivers use our content to turn challenges into opportunities for connection. Accessible by subscription on mobile devices and connected TVs, Zinnia is simple to use whenever you need it. Because when caregiving feels easier, life feels better. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
Hello and welcome to the Encourager Podcast, where we have encouraging conversations to help you joyfully harmonize your home and work life. I'm your host, Rebecca Scott. I'm a wife, mother, designer, coach, and author. I'm here to help encourage and empower you to confidently make decisions that work for you and your stage of life, whatever that might be. Hello, encouragers. Are you ready to stop managing all the overwhelm and finally create some systems that bring more joy to both home and work life? Join my 10-week encouraging cohort kicking off April 2nd. Together, we're going to tackle the 5 systems: me, food, family, work, and home, so you can ditch the chaos, gain some clarity, and move forward with confidence and joy. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Enroll now at theencouragerpodcast.com, and let's build some systems that serve you and not exhaust you. On today's podcast, I want to talk about the 3 best and the 3 worst decisions for your me system. And in particular, these are the ones that are my best and my worst. But what I want you to take away from this is what would be your 3 best decisions you can make for your me system, and what would be your 3 worst decisions you can make for your me system. Because ultimately, the systems have to work for you. I talk about 5 systems very regularly. But the trick to everything that I coach on, especially within the systems, is that it has to work for your lifestyle, your stages, and your roles, and your family makeup, because I can't possibly guess what that is. But I know that everybody has these 5 systems, and so I want you to take away how can you improve on your me system by avoiding some of the things that might be the worst decisions to make for it. Have you ever felt like you're just trying to keep up, but no matter how hard you push, you're still running on empty? Like, even if you started out in the new year and you're like, I'm going to kill it in my me system, and I'm working out and I'm drinking water and I'm eating protein, you're doing all, but you're like, I still can't keep up. What is going on? So then I would ask you the question, are you taking care of yourself in a way that actually works for you? Or are you stuck following someone else's version of self-care that doesn't actually fit your life or the stages and roles that you're in? The best decisions for your me system fuel joy, growth, and resilience, because after all, we definitely need resilience. And the worst ones lead to burnout, frustration, and a lack of direction. So let's break it down. The me system is the foundation of everything. How do you get a full charge? That's the purpose of the me system, is how do you get a full charge? If we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of our families, our businesses, or our responsibilities very well. And I have learned the hard way for myself what works and what just simply doesn't. Some of my best decisions have fueled energy, they have fueled clarity, and even joy, one of the things that is kind of a hallmark of my life. And some of my worst decisions, they left me exhausted, burnt out, overwhelmed, and also disconnected. So today, I want to share 3 of the best and 3 of the worst decisions I've made for my own me system, so you can reflect on yours and you can start adjusting accordingly. Your me system needs intentional decisions. The best choices from here bring alignment, they bring energy, and sustainability. That's kind of that resilient part, okay? The worst ones leave you stuck in cycles that drain you because it wasn't your idea after all. I would say this for the me system: it should be something that is so repeatable, you don't even have to think about it, but you actually crave it. Like it's just something that you know recharges you, which is the purpose of the me system. Your me system matters because we need to do both home and work life, and we can't afford to run on fumes or caffeine or burpees or whatever the latest thing is. Like we cannot keep it up doing both home and work life if we are surviving on fumes. We need the energy, we need clarity, and we need a strong sense of self to manage everything really well. And if we make the right decisions for the me system, they don't just make you feel better, they make you more effective in every other role and system. Okay, so my 3 best decisions for my me system, remember you guys, this is my version. If they make sense to you, you can try them. But the point of this is for you to come up what would be the 3 best for you and declare them, okay? So mine, I call it Burpees Jesus. It's when I get up in the morning early and I exercise, drink water, and then I talk to Jesus when I'm done exercising. Movement for me fuels my day. Like when I can get that out and all of that adrenaline that I actually always have and all of that like physical activity, and when I get a good sweat on, I'm totally charged up. And so for me, it really is a non-negotiable. No, I do not work out 7 days a week, but when I do, I feel so much better. I try to average between 4 and 5 times a week. My faith also grounds me. So pairing those 2 together works for me really well. Starting my morning with the Bible and with movement gives me mental clarity. It's like, okay, I just sweated out all the gunk. I got rid of some stress. I'm feeling really good. And then I'm fueling it back with praying, trying to hear from the Holy Spirit, talking to my picture of Jesus, reading my Bible. Those are such a great pairing for me. Another good decision for my me system is declaring when my Bible time will happen. So this for me has been paramount. It's not just about squeezing it in. Like there were years when I would put my Bible on top of a chair, like I would just set it on the seat part of it. So I'd be like, if I walk by it, then I know that I'm going to pick up my Bible. It's right there. I'm just eliminating any like friction of where it is because it's already there on my chair. No, it didn't happen. I could not squeeze it in. So when I started declaring, I started praying, God, tell me when I can get my Bible time in because I know it's important and I want to be a good steward of the truth that you have written right here. How do I do that? And then started figuring it out. Well, when I started declaring, just like with any of the stuff I do, being intentional about, no, this is when I read my Bible, then I could reverse engineer the other things. So I read my Bible after I drop off the kids from school. Non-negotiable. That's when I read it. I don't start staff meetings. I don't start any phone calls. I don't start any work until 9 a.m. That's what works for me. What would work for you? Because I have declared that 8 to 9 o'clock hour is food prep and Bible time. Having a fixed, non-negotiable rhythm for my Bible reading has increased my Bible reading significantly and my understanding of his word, which is very important to me. But leaving that there, like this is when I read my Bible, also makes it a habit that I don't have to think about. And my third good decision for my me system is self-awareness and owning my needs. So when I started learning more about my Enneagram type, Clifton Strengths Finders, how I respond in situations, going through therapy, when I was really self-aware of my triggers, I was really self-aware of my burnout signs, I just started treating myself with more kindness and with more compassion because I understood where these sort of triggers or excitement levels or burnout was coming from. So knowing also what fuels that or fuels me, and then also knowing what drains me or triggers me, then I can adjust accordingly, anticipating what might happen if a situation comes up or if I'm on empty, I try to avoid the situations that would only trigger it worse, right? Or if I'm feeling really awesome, knowing what to say no to and what to say yes to were a little bit easier because I had fueled myself. So becoming self-aware has been a very important part of my me system because it allows me to not react, but rather relate in the situation. So like learning, okay, you know what? I don't like the way that this is going. Maybe it's a conversation, but I still need to have this conversation, even though it's uncomfortable. I still need to have this conversation, and I'm going to Maybe I sit through the conversation with my palms open, so I'm just open to hearing it instead of closing myself off. Just all the things that you learn when you become self-aware are just vital, and I have found very vital for my own life. Very important part of my me system. So you better believe I love reading more books about the Enneagram. I love reading anything about self-awareness, about learning more about yourself. I love going to therapy so that I can learn even more about my background. But becoming self-aware is a very important part of my me system. And it helps me not apologize for what I need to function at my best. And so that's something that I had to walk through with therapy. It's just like not saying I'm sorry so often because I maybe possibly did really need it. And whatever that is, maybe it's a physical thing, maybe it's a mental thing, maybe it's a break, maybe it's a space between decisions, whatever it is, but not apologizing for what I need to function so that I can be at my best to better serve all of my roles.
We're all touched by the mental health crisis, and many in our church communities are seeking support. We need compassionate Christian therapists walking alongside them through every season. Western Theological Seminary offers a master's in clinical mental health counseling, blending trauma-informed care with the rich tradition of soul care. Be part of the solution, grounded in faith. Learn more at counseling.westernsem.edu. That's counseling.westernsem.edu.
Okay, the 3 worst decisions for my me system was and is if I'm running at 30%. So that's an analogy where if you forget to plug your phone in at night and you wake up and it's at like 30%, how quickly do you think your phone will die? Depends for all of us, but it could be as early as 11 a.m. and then it's just shut down. Well, if you don't have a full charge, like I recommend doing with the me system, then you too will start shutting down at 11 a.m. And so I can feel it for myself when I'm running at about 30%. I'm low energy and I keep thinking to myself this very common phrase, you guys, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'm having an off day. I just didn't get the rest I need. I just didn't drink enough water. I just drank too much black tea. And I find myself saying the words, I'll be fine, or exhaling a lot. That's a good sign for me that like, okay, you are not operating at 100%. And another part of that just running low is that I'm waiting too long to rest and kind of restore myself or care for myself. You know, I put off the bubble bath or I put off the friend date because I'm like, I just got to get either I got to get more done or I need to go to bed early tonight. I just know for myself when I continue to run at just 30%, it's leading to burnout. So I have to be self-aware. So that's a bad decision for your me system. The other worst decision for my me system is following other women's self-care plans. Not that they're bad. So I'm not asking you to like only stay in your own lane and don't take advice from others who have like really gained some clarity and had awesome self-care systems. Yes. Take a look at that, follow that, ask yourself, would you trade places with this person? Do you like how they are recommending it? Are they giving you some wiggle room so it's not so much protocol that you're like, I don't know if that would work? Still evaluate some of those plans, but when I started following theirs verbatim, I realized like, this doesn't work for me. Like meditating for 30 minutes by just listening to music, and maybe it was the music playlist that they had for me. I was like, I don't like this music. So then I was totally distracted. So that one didn't work for me. Or that I had to walk a certain amount of miles per day, maybe, but I need to run. Like I prefer like high impact workouts. So I do like walking, but not for 3 miles. I found myself really agitated and distracted by then. But if I could have ran 2 miles as fast as I wanted to, and then had a moment in a swing with my dogs where I could just be breathing out from the hard workout and then talking to God, that worked a little bit better. Which, by the way, none of these programs suggested that I do it exactly their way. I'm just learning for myself that other women's version of self-care, I can borrow maybe some of the information from it, but I don't have to do it verbatim for what Becca needs. Okay, so that's permission for you guys as well. So really it was about customizing my self-care instead of forcing a one-size-fits-all approach. And that's what I want you to do for yourself is like custom fit what would self-care look like for you. And the third part of the worst decision for your me systems would be to have no plan at all, right? I mean, I'll fit it in when I have time is something that we frequently say and then never happens. So I do want you to be intentional. And part of the thing that we walk through in my cohort or in the regular one-on-one coaching is, hey, how are you taking care of yourself for your me system? And when are you going to do that? And they're like, I just haven't really decided yet, but I'll fit it in. I know how long I'll need, but I'll fit it in. And I immediately am like, oh, no. It'll never happen. I need you to tell me. I'm like, gosh, I got to tell you right now. I'm like, no, but I am going to follow up with a text message or a call. And I'm going to say, hey, when did you end up deciding, declaring, blocking it in when you're going to have that pampering evening or whatever that looks like? Because it's so important. It's so important to get that full charge. So if you do not have a plan, it's not going to happen. And then you're going to continue to operate on low or burn out. So you do have to have a plan for it. It doesn't have to be super rigid. It's not like when I write back, I'm like, okay, Thursdays at 3 p.m. I'm going to check in and make sure that you're doing. No. I'm just saying week to week, you declare it as if it's a meeting, as if it's like you're meeting with someone very important who is yourself. Like you do need to declare week to week, when are you going to take care of yourself? When are you going to declare that some time for building yourself up and for building a good full charge? So in conclusion, your me system, it needs a plan. Just like work, just like the meals, just like your family schedules have a plan, you need a plan for your me system. Okay, again, those were examples of my 3 best decisions. Those were examples of my 3 worst decisions. What would that look like for you guys? Your me system is the foundation. If you don't take care of you, nothing else runs well. With a caveat, we all know that we can run the other systems, even if we're only running all the other systems at like a little bit of a percentage, and we can keep going at that. But eventually you will feel very overwhelmed, very overworked, and most likely very underappreciated. So take the time to block in your me system. What would make the best decisions for your me system? Communicate them with your spouses. Pray about them, of how to make them a priority so that you can get a full charge and be operating at what God fully sees you fit to do. I just want to be careful, when we talk about the me system, it's just become really apparent to me over the last couple of years is that we definitely are a society of me. So I fight with that because Jesus never said that you had to fill yourself up before you went and served people. He served people even when he was exhausted. And I know some of you out there are doing the same thing, but he also prioritized rest and getting away. He would retreat. And then they might even have to call him out of the retreat. Sometimes the disciples had to be like, hey, Jesus, turns out there's 300 people on the shore. And he was like, oh gosh, okay, I'll come back. But he still did retreat, and he took care of himself by praying to God and removing himself for a period of time. What does that look like for you? But also the caveat is you can still serve while taking care of yourself. You can still meet your roles and your desires while still serving others. It's not like this comes first and then that. You can do them together. I just want you to be intentional about also taking care of yourself. Okay, now, how are you going to apply this? It doesn't do you any good to listen to this podcast and say that was good. I want you to be able to apply it. So ask yourself, are you operating at 30%? Are you copying someone else's version of self-care? And can you adjust it to be better for yourself? And then, do you actually have a plan? Okay, then I want you to decide on one change. Okay, you listen to this, you're just going to decide on one thing you can do this week to fuel yourself better, or one thing that you can do in the next 10 minutes. Maybe it's booking a regular appointment for self-care at some kind of like sauna or facility or nails, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's just making one phone call to a friend about a regular weekly walk. Okay. Maybe it's just putting on the family calendar, you're going to take a bubble bath, if that's what it looks like. But what is one thing you can do within the next 10 minutes of listening to this to fuel yourself better? Maybe it's setting a workout plan. Maybe it's declaring that Bible time that we talked about. Maybe it's just like, I'm just going to be really observant of what fuels me. Like what gives me joy? What makes me hum, sing, dance? What makes me laugh? And just like being observant this week of what it is that fuels your me system. Okay, then you're just going to commit to that actionable step, whether it was the 10 minutes after, maybe it's a reflection thing, maybe it's just talking with your spouse about it. How can you do just 1% better at your me system? And then remember, you're only going to take it to 80%. You don't have to take it to 100%. Overachievers, I hear you, I see you, I am one. But you don't have to do it 100%. Let's just get to 80%. That's still excellent. And then decide what we want to do with it. If we had most females operating at 80% of their me systems, guys, we would change some things, okay? We would change some things, but even 1% is progress in the right direction. Your me system matters. The right decisions fuel your joy, your energy, and your impact. Let's ditch the bad habits and commit to small, sustainable changes that actually work for us. Okay, pick one change and make it happen this week. You hear me? Okay. Follow up with us on social media. I want to see what that 1% change looks like. Or maybe you've got even a plan when you're declaring it. I want to see what that's like on social media. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, please do share with your friends. If you've got that friend that is operating on burnout and keeps saying, I'll be fine. First of all, pray for her and then send her this podcast. I want to pray for her and I want to stand beside her too and encourage her that she matters and she can have an impact in this world if that's what she desires. And we just got to give her a full charge. How can we do that? Until next week, encouragers, we got this because he's got us. Thanks so much for tuning in. If the Encourager podcast has helped or encouraged you in any way, please subscribe to the show and leave a 5-star review. And then help us spread the message of encouragement and hope by sharing the podcast with others. Ready to bring more organization and joy into your life? The Encourager Academy helps you harmonize your home and work life through our online course and coaching programs. Our 5-system approach, me, food, family, work, and home, tackles your biggest obstacles, offering lifetime access to video lessons and guided worksheets. Learn at your own pace with practical tools and strategies. Enroll now at encourageracademy.com and use code WeGotThis for $50 off. Are you ready to finally create systems that help you thrive in both home and work life? Join my 10-week coaching cohort designed for busy women like you. Together, we'll create customized, foolproof systems for managing your home, business, and personal life with joy and purpose. With live coaching, practical tools, and a supportive community, you'll leave feeling organized, confident, and in control. Don't wait. Spots are limited to 10 women. Visit encouragerpodcast.com to apply.
Hi, friend. Are you stressed? Maybe even worried about so many needs around you that you've forgotten you are worth taking care of too? Well, I'm Bonnie Gray, the host of Breathe, the Stress Less podcast. I want to invite you to join me as I share practical tips based on science, inspired by God's Word, to help you spark joy and restore God's peace and love to your soul. Subscribe now and go to lifeaudio.com.